Africa's victories in some by-elections, including Narok and in the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula's home turf, saying the ruling side has resorted to misinformation after realizing it is losing ground. Away from that report, the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa dismissed on Sunday US President Donald Trump's threat to exclude Pretoria from next year's G20 summit, reaffirming South Africa's status as a founding member of the group. Washington boycotted the Group of 20 Leaders Summit held under South Africa's president in Johannesburg on November 22 to 23, with Trump repeating allegations that the host country's black majority government persecutes its white minority. Trump said last Wednesday that South Africa would not be invited to the summit to be held in Florida next year because it had refused to hand over the G20 presidency to a senior representative of its embassy who was at the closing ceremony. But Pretoria says it handed over the rotating presidency to a U.S. embassy official. In a statement of the nation address on Sunday, the South African president said South Africa is and will remain a full, active, and constructive member of the G20. In another development, police in South Africa said they arrested 4 men en route to Russia who are suspected of having been recruited to fight in the military there. The men were stopped at the boarding gate in Johannesburg at the weekend, police said, weeks after reports that another 17 South African men were stuck in Ukraine after being lured into joining mercenary forces with the promise of lucrative contracts. It is illegal under South African law for citizens to provide military assistance to foreign governments or participate in foreign armies without authorization. Elsewhere, Tunisia police have arrested prominent opposition figure Chaima Issa at a protest in the capital, Tunis, to enforce a 20-year prison sentence, her lawyers said. An appeal court handed jail term of up to 45 years to opposition leaders, business leaders, and lawyers on charges of conspiracy to overthrow President Kais Saied in what critics said was a sign of increasing authoritarian rule. During the protest, just before Issa's arrest, she and 2 of the other convicted politicians called for the fractured opposition to unite and escalate demonstrations against Saied. Meanwhile, a 46-year-old Ghanaian national has been arrested by United States Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officers at the Rainbow Bridge crossing in Niagara Falls, New York, after authorities discovered he was wanted on a felony warrant issued in Jersey City, New Jersey. The suspect, identified as Patrick Fiatai, was stopped by CBP officers on November 23, 2025, while using the pedestrian lane at the Port of Buffalo. According to officials, he initially stated that he was traveling to visit friends in Canada, but later turned back and re-entered the United States. During the routine inspection that followed, officers found a National Crime Information Center match linking him to an active arrest warrant. The CBP, in a statement on its website, confirmed that the warrant from Jersey City was for intimidation, stalking, and felony criminal sexual contact. This report says Iran has seized an Eswatini-flagged vessel carrying 350,000 liters of smuggled fuel, the semi-official Sanim news agency reported. A Revolutionary Guards, a Navy commander, said the Navy seized the vessel carrying smuggled fuel in the form of gasol and flying Switzerland's, that is Eswatini's flag, adding that it was brought to Bushehr coast following a judicial border and its contents will be unloaded. It also said the vessel's 13 crew were from India and 1 neighboring country. You're watching the African News and Voice of the People television, and it's time for the news analysis. And we have with us in the studio Barrister Darlington Agamo, who is in the studio this afternoon in capacity Republican political affairs analyst. Barrister Agamo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Finan. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you join today's African News.
My pleasure.
All right, without wasting further time, let's start off with the first story that made it to the bulletin about the military personnel who took over power in Guinea-Bissau, suspending all gathering, what they call anything that will be a threat to the visit of the Ecowas members who are supposed to visit the state today to renegotiate with them on how to restore back the democratic rule that Guinea-Bissau have been enjoying for some time now. What do you have to say about this, given the fact that in one breath first, they shut down all internet operation so that the activities of the military in the country will not be let known to the world. But now at this point, they are reconsidering and taking back to democratic rule. What do you have to say to this, please?
Look, this ECOWAS country, why are they always blaming the military for doing what they ought to do in the face of a bad governance in Africa? Have they ever gathered to tell their civilian counterparts in office that, look, what you are doing is not good? Have you ever seen these ECOWAS people coming to tell the president that you are doing a coup in your country? Or don't you know that these civilians in civilian garb, they are also carrying a coup in their respective countries?
When you say they are carrying a coup, in what aspect are you pointing to?
Yes,
what aspect are you looking at?
Good. When they trample on opposition, trample on good governance, trample on anything democratic, is that not a coup?
But did we see that happen in Guinea-Bissau, Barrister Darlington? There was a democratic election, and the result of that election is yet to be announced. And we're having two people already trying to cause problem in the country. And from the information we had also, we're told that the military had to intervene because they know that some drug lords are trying to utilize our opportunity after they must have already pushed in gun or firearms into the country to upturn the activity of their country. And that was why they step in.
So if that is their reason, did they apprehend the drug laws? Hold on. Did they apprehend the drug laws or they are anticipating? Look, some of these reasons, I don't buy it. If they tell me now that the drug laws were sponsoring some candidate in the election, I would say yes, it's possible.
So do you think the coup that happened in Guinea-Bissau is a sham coup? Do you also align with that line of thoughts?
Yeah, because they sent the president to Senegal, Abi.
We learned that today he's somewhere in the DR Congo.
So, but he first of all went to Senegal, where they received him. Yeah. So they quietly took him out of the country, so that it doesn't look as if they want to do anything onto us. It was not like Jonathan said. It was not a palace coup. It was not a coup per se. It was a ceremonial coup. It was a ceremonial. It's like they agree with the president that, look, you can take over since I will not win the election. Is that not obvious? Or you don't see such a thing here? If the president finds out he cannot win the election, you can simply tell the military, come and take over.
If that actually should be the reason, Barrister, then why is it that people are agitating, protesting in that country, and also, holding strides so that they will protest how aggrieved they were with the military taking over activities in the country?
They were all sponsored. You cannot tell me that they are doing this on their own. They were all sponsored. After all, the civilian people that have been there, were they doing well? Is it not this country that one family have almost colonized the whole place? Mbasogo, has he been doing well? Remember what the deal he had with the president when he handed over ECOWAS to him and all that. So, what are you saying? They are never good. They and the military that took over, they are not good.
But there's a saying that says the people deserve the government that they have. If we keep on talking about the government being bad, Barrister, let us not forget that the people made up the government. The people sometimes who go out there to cast their vote and elect people that they believe will serve their interest. So when you're saying they are not good, we have people who are still speaking in favor of those who we have, manning some political offices.
Look, in any environment, there are people that are gullible. It is the gullible people that the politicians manipulate and use. They are the weak link that the politicians always use. And these people, they don't even know what is going on. they don't understand where these politicians are going because they have been made a ready tool to be used.
When you say they've been made a ready tool to be used, let's take a cue from what happened in Cameroon. We have a man who have been within the corridors of power for over, 4 decades at this point. And yet he come up to tell the world that some people are pressurizing him to still be on the ballot. And he went also to be on the ballot. And he won the election.
Yes.
And he was declared winner. And people were protesting him being there. And other persons were also cramping down on the people protesting his emergence. And we saw other people protesting against the protesters. So when you say, they are all bad, or maybe they are championing these persons who are no longer there, who have been brainwashed to be there, we're still seeing the people playing part in all this.
You see, when you have the majority of the people being illiterate, politically illiterate, these are the people they use. Can you tell me that in the Western world, there will ever be somebody like a Paul Biya? Tell me. In the Western world, there will ever be somebody like Museveni or Uganda. You know it can never happen now. You can't. You can't try it. So in an environment of mostly illiterate people, this is what you get. That is the truth. So when they deliberately keep you down, it's for a purpose.
Are you saying that Africans are illiterate?
Oh, are you serious? Are they well educated before? Hold on. No.
But if you're to get to the Western world you just pointed to now, you find out that most of the people who are occupying decision-making positions in this Western world are majorly Africans. We have the best of the brains in every other aspect and in every other part. So when you say that, illiteracy is what is causing the problem.
Yeah. Look, when you are in an environment of the educated people, can you manipulate them? You said it here that your Africans are can they be in that position without being educated? Can they be in that position and still manipulating the whites who are the hosts? You know this is not possible, my dear. If you have a majority of the people that are well educated, and you can't even try it. I say you can't try it. That is what you are saying here. Now, when you say education, that's the meaning. In fact, education helps you in a number of ways. When you see that professors, they went to school to go and read, fine. But people are expecting them to be rich. No, that's not what education gives you. It doesn't give you wealth. It gives you knowledge. Your ability to overcome some of these mundane things that doesn't help the society. That is the meaning. That's the meaning, Refina. So when Africans are down, educationally, the result is what this you are seeing, being manipulated, being teleguided.
In Nigeria alone, as of 2019, we have over 11,000 professors who are there manning different.
Is that what?
In Nigeria alone, we have over 11,000 professors as of 2019. And this 2025, yeah. So we must have had over 15 or 14,000. Okay, fine.
That is a shame.
Now, Barrister, let's break.
That is a shame.
Let's break it.
In Harvard alone, you have 11 professors. Harvard University. 11 professors, and you are talking of Nigeria.
Now, if you check those 11 professors that we have in Harvard, we have Nigerians also there making up the left. So, see, Africans are not illiterate. Barrister, I bet you disagree. We are sound. We are sound-minded people. We are literate.
Nigeria is the biggest black nation in the whole world, and the giant of Africa. And you are telling me here now that
was 2019 report, Barrister.
2019. So between 2019 and 2025. You now have 1 million professors, Abby.
You never can tell. But now, Barrister, let's still stay with Cameroon at this point. We learned that one of the opposition leaders, Anicet Ekane, died in prison, in detention. From the information we gathered, we're told that his lawyer and the wife and family members made this known. He was the one who stood his ground to say that he wanted to kick against the worsening political issues in Cameroon. Now, what do you make of this death? He died in detention. Some persons were of the opinion that this is going to lead to more political tension in Cameroon. They are yet to stop the protests. People have been killed and all that. So what do you make of this? The 74-year-old dying in detention.
The blood of any martyr will wet the ground for political advancement. Did you hear me? The blood of one martyr is going to wet the ground for what? Political advancement. So this is what you get, or this is the price you have to pay to liberate your people. Nobody who embark on this type of thing finds it funny. It's not possible. Unfortunately, the people that are oppressing and they're killing them, they don't even know that they are moving the country forward by what they are doing. That's the truth. I mean, it didn't start today. Look at Jesus Christ. They thought when they kill him, this thing will be over.
But I say that should be the case. So many persons have been killed in Africa. So why is it Africa is still the way it is?
Oh,
we have lost so many strong men, so many strong people, women, vocal voices talking about liberation of Africa.
That is why you are even where you are now. Seriously. It is the blood of those people that gave Africa what? Independence. Are you not aware? It is now left for the people who took over to now deepen it.
But we don't see that play out with the West, where we gather or we learn this democracy from. We don't really see, every election, after a matter of election leading to killings and bloodshed and all that.
America is over 250 years in democracy.
So you think ours is work in progress?
Good. America is 250 in democracy, democratic pursuit.
Yeah.
Mention one African nation that is even up to 100, apart from I think Liberia.
So you think we need to keep on walking in this trajectory until when we get to the age of...
The only thing that worries me is that you cannot reinvent the wheel. Haven't seen the development in the Western world. Do they need any other body to cheat them? All they need to do, copy it and bring it here. But the people who are presently in leadership in Africa, they know that if they copy it and bring it here, it will not favor them.
How possible do you think that would have been for Africans to do that, where we still have the whites bringing up the supremacy part? And that takes us to the next story, or the next, yes, I made it to the bulletin, where we learned that, there's a report from the South African president, Cyril Ramaphosa, dismissing President Donald Trump's threat to exclude Pretoria from the next year's G20 summit. In this particular case, we learned that Trump wanted him to secede or to hand over the G20 leadership to, a superior embassy member. And he said, no, he's not going to do that. And with that, and reason Trump gave was a marginalization of the white minority in South Africa, which, according to him, he said is a barbaric act. It shouldn't be there. That the blacks in South Africa are oppressing the whites in South Africa. Recall that after the apartheid move, some people were waiting for the likes of the Nelson Mandela to declare, make a statement, let the Boers go. We know the story of the emergence of the Boers and all that, the Boer trek and every other thing. But yet, he believed in the spirit of, staying together and every other thing. But now we're getting this coming up from Trump. What do you have to say about this, please?
It is because of the failure of leadership in Africa. That is why you will even have a Donald Trump kicking against these things. Seriously. A Donald Trump that is talking, did he not know the history of apartheid? What the whites did to the blacks on their own soil.
So on what ground then is he making this statement?
I thought it's the failure. They have seen that you don't have anything.
Is it failure of the Western or the white supremacy over the black? Is that what we're seeing at this point? Because the major bone of contention on this table is the fact that he is of the opinion that the G20 presidency will be given to a senior representative of his embassy.
That is not a problem because it is rotational. And then did Ramaphosa, did he not hand over? Please, did he not hand over? That's the question here.
He did.
Yeah?
He did. He handed over to the rotating presidency to a U.S. embassy official. He did.
So what is the problem?
Why is it that the likes of Trump is still going for that?
That's what I'm telling you now. Is because they have seen that you are a weak leader. You can't challenge them. That is just the only thing.
Is it being weak or the fact that we have decided to say no to some imposition that is bringing?
No.
Recall the plan of sending or shipping some persons who, according to Trump, they are illegal migrants into the U.S. and there's a need for them to be sent out of the country. And, some countries refuse those people being forced on them, only for Eswatini and others that accept. Ramaphosa was among them. They said, we're not taking in these people. Nigeria government also speak against it, not picking up, especially those who are ex-convicts. Are we not seeing that being what we're seeing playing out now at this point?
No, the real issue there, the real reason Donald Trump is giving is because of this, the minority whites trying to claim the South African land, and which Ramaphosa is saying no. We want to do equitable distribution of land. We want to make sure that the blacks equally get a fair share of the land. That is the problem here. And that is what Donald Trump is kicking against. He believes that the whites should be superior to the blacks.
So we're back again on that table of white supremacy.
Look, it is because of you African leaders. You don't even have principle. Are you not the one going there to beg for loan or cap in hand? And when you collect the loan, you still see the money and then keep it in their country. All these things are what? Reducing your respect in Africa. African leaders. If they tell you how much of African money that is in the Western world, in fact, you will shed tears. They see this money and they take it to the Western world. And these Western leaders are looking at you and say, look at leaders. That is it. They have seen you all, nothing left.
So what does this portend, the exclusion or possible eviction of Pretoria from the next G20
No, they only said they will not invite them.
Yes, if they are not being invited, they are members of the G20. So if they're not being invited, what does that portend for Africa?
It doesn't matter anything. The next leadership can invite them. Abi? That's all. And they now gave the satellite states freedom to go and do capitalism and work and turn them into industrial base. That's why you have so many people working hard in China for their money. Government gave them that privilege and that leeway. But the center is controlling what they are doing so that nobody will see one kobo in China and get away to enjoy it. It cannot happen. That's what is standing for China today. That particular principle. That is why you see China standing today. If not, some wicked men would have taken away their resources to go and embezzle it. Like the country's leadership. Nobody in China, no matter how highly paid, can see $1, one like this, and you didn't pay for it.
So what advice are we given? What would be the solution?
Can you do that here in Africa?
In Africa, because in Tunisia, it's becoming a bit scary when we learned that courts handed over jail terms, from ranging from 20 to 45 years to opposition leaders, business leaders, and even lawyers, charging them for conspiracy and part to overthrow the president.
They made a mistake. They should have made it 1 million years so that it will now sink well. When they finish the time, their children and their children will continue the jail sentence. Abi? It's good. We are growing up as an African state. We are growing up. Go and check. Most of the time, is it not election? Go and check. Most of the time, African leader happen. Is it not election? Election. You have been there. You don't want to do the needful and win the election in a free and fair environment. You introduce all manner of things. And when the opposition kick against you, you clamp them into detention so that nobody can challenge you. Is that not the election that causes problem in Africa? Go and check. Just to check, look around. Election. What does that tell you? Because the man at the helm of affairs, he doesn't want to leave office. And you ask yourself, what is the problem? What do you want in life that you have not gotten? You don't want to sit down there. Is it your father's property? As you say, you are defending your property. It is my own. Why should I give it up? Why should I allow somebody to come and take over? This kind of mentality is what is killing African leaders. Peter, in the last 1 year, how many prime ministers have you seen in UK? Some just resigned on their own because they couldn't cope. Is that not true? Yeah. So, they're on their own without Nigerian president and the UK premier. Who has more power? The economy of UK and that of Nigeria, is it comparable? As to say, well, they are not the same thing. What is that you have that UK is even your colonial master? So what is that thing that, you see, when you grow up in a very bad environment, it's very dangerous. All these people that we are grooming in Africa, this dictatorship mentality in Africa, it has entered into their psyche that they don't want to see reason. All these are brothers that you said they are making waves in Western world. If they come here now, they indoctrinate them. That's why some of them don't want to come near here. The moment they come in here, they will tell them how to do things upside down. And when you are saying, yes, that's how we do it in Nigeria. Yes, that's how we do. Just do as they are told. Though. That's why most people, they don't want to come here and help the government.
So what's the way forward? We're looking for solution now on the state.
My dear, nothing turned out well, except there is what? Problem from it. Except the problem happens, people don't learn a lesson. This thing they are doing, I pray that they continue until the people, until the people say, in fact, enough is enough.
Very so we have 7 African countries already down with coal. 7 already down. And then other people, other countries are still, you can say, are
still loading. Yes.
So how do we avert this? How do we? That was what I was asking earlier. If the democracy is not working, what other way or means of rule or leadership are we going to embrace? Because we see people moving away from democratic rule to military rule and all that.
It's working. Fina, it's working. I said, since the creation of Africa as a continent, is there any major revolution here? Have there been any major, apart from Arab thing, okay, it cuts across Arab states. Is there any major coup? Any major revolution in Africa? The answer is none. If you have something like a French Revolution or a Russian Revolution, don't you think that the brain of these leaders will reset? Don't you think so? We'll get to that point because other countries have it now. Other Western nations, they had it, and that brought sanity to their country. Is that not true? So, if African leaders don't want to learn a lesson from what happened to the Western leaders, then all well and good. But all I know is that they are working toward that answer. Because evil doesn't last forever, as far as I'm concerned. If they have refused to learn how Russian USA leaders were behaving like Lord, they called them SARS at that time. They were behaving like Lord. That other woman in France said that if the people cannot eat bread, they should not buy cake and all that. They said, so if you cannot afford bread, then is it cake that we can afford? So that is how you look at it, Abi. And they enter the streets. And the rest is history. So it will get to that point. At least if one can happen in Africa, oh my God, you will see the results. You see the results.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Darlington. This is how far we can go with the news analysis on African News on Voice of the People Television. We're pressed for time already. We sincerely appreciate your presence in the news. Okay, you're watching the African News on Voice of the People TV. We'll go on a quick break and we'll come back. The rest of the news continues. To watch us, stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the African News on Voice of the People Television. The Senegalese authorities are racing to prevent a potential oil spill after water entered the engine room of the Panamanian-flagged oil tanker Mercina near Dakar coast, the port authority said on Sunday. The vessel is owned by Turkey's Mersin Shipping Incorporated and managed by Besiktas Shipping, according to data from the London Stock Exchange Group. The incident, which led to the vessel issuing a distress signal, occurred overnight from November 27 to 28, prompting the development of tugboats and specialized teams from Senegal's Navy and Maritime Authority, the Port Authority said. The Port Authority did not give details about the incident, but said all crew members were safely rescued with no reported injuries. Still in the news, Ethiopia and the Netherlands are set to celebrate a century of trade relations in 2026, cemented by a renewed focus on boosting Ethiopia's agricultural sector and promoting sustainable development. Paula Schindela, the deputy head of mission at the Netherlands embassy, announced the milestone and detailed the future of the partnership. Speaking to newsmen, Schindela highlighted both the historical roots and the future potential of the collaboration. Schindela explained that the current partnership model is designed to integrate development goals with private investment for mutual benefit. In South Sudan, Juba City Council JCC Mayor Christopher Serafino Wani has said that the deployment of security forces in Koyokoni and custom markets in the city over the weekend was to restructure operations and to enforce a ban on street vending. While addressing traders on Sunday evening, the mayor dismissed rumors of social media that there was insecurity in the market and that the government was closing them. The mayor urged traders to cooperate with the JCC to ensure safety and security in the markets. He explained that regulating market ensures that traders are protected and that their clients are also safe. On a tragic note, at least 19 people died when heavy wind caused a boat to capsize on the Democratic Republic of Congo's Lake Main-Dombe, the governor of Main-Dombe province said. The boat had left the village of Kiri for the capital Kinshasa when it capsized on Thursday night, local government and civil society sources said. Another government official, Freddy Bonzeke Liki, estimated that the boat had been carrying at least 200 passengers and said the search for bodies continued. Riverboats are the main form of transport in many rural parts of Congo, but vessels are often outdated and accidents are frequent. You're still watching the African News and Voice of the People television. We'll go on under a quick break. We'll come back. Business and sports stories up next. Glad to have you back. It's African News and Voice of the People television. Now to some business stories. A monthly gauge of South African manufacturer sentiment saw its sharpest drop of the year in November. A Purchasing Managers Index PMI survey showed on Monday. The seasonal adjusted PMI, sponsored by South African bank Absa, fell to 42.0 in November from 49.2 in October. A reading below 50 indicates decreased activities. Absa said in a statement that the survey results underscore the fragility of South Africa's manufacturing sector, with demand and production declines overshadowing modest employment gains and easing cost pressures. In sports, RS Berkane produced the most dramatic turnaround of the round in Group A of the CAF Champions League, scoring twice in stoppage time to defeat Rivers United 2-1 in Port Harcourt at the weekend. The Nigerian side had led for the 37 minutes after Mahmoudou Lamie Camara's own goal but sustained late pressure assured Eunice El Kabi equalized in the 97th minute before Monio Kochwa completed the heist in the 99th minute. The result leaves Rivers United without a point after two matches, while Bakeni remains top with a maximum 6 points. Defending champions Pyramids matched the Moroccans' perfect start with a composed 1-0 away victory over Power Dynamos in Ndola. Mohamed Reda Bobu's precise finish early in the second half and a valuable win that keeps the holders firmly on track in their title defense. And that is it on African News and Voice of the People television. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Voice of the People TV and in all the social media platforms we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness report, event coverage, request, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057, 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Fina Okechukwu. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Novisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarate is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma, and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpet, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things?
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV.